Hey guys, what's going on? It's Devin here, and welcome to a brand new video. And today I'm going to be doing another ramble video, just like the last one, which got pretty good reception, which was good to see. And I'm going to be talking about the stuff I've done since then, the plans for the future, and the mentality I'm trying to adapt to. So in the last video, I discussed a lot about 200 mil all and how pretty much, like in order to do it properly, you are going to want to do a lot of skill hopping, I feel like, for most people, in order to, not burn out, because like in Ray's video, you hit this wall and then you burn out. And I think that is actually like a very, very true thing. I don't think it's just this made up meme. It's definitely significant. And that's something that I've thought of before that video even, and here I am room crafting, which who would have thought, including myself, who would have thought that I'd be sitting here RCing anytime soon, doing lavas, which, by the way, I was fully prepared to do souls. Like, that was like one of the things that I was thinking of, like, yeah, I'm probably going to do souls compared to lavas. But here I am doing lavas, and I absolutely love doing them. And pretty much the game plan with lavas at the moment is going to be to try to stick to them for as long as I can. And that's something I've honestly never tried in this game before. Throughout all of my other 200 mils I've never once tried to stick to it and just never take breaks. And by breaks, I mean like doing a whole different skill, having a whole different skill be your focus. Like, I don't mind doing a quick agility break or doing some phone nights or doing NMZ. I don't mind stuff like that as long as my focus is staying towards RC. And that's like my goal at the moment, is to stick to that. And that's something that's going to be really hard for me to do for sure. And it's, like I said, it's something I've never tried to do before. And one mentality, I know Ray has also talked about this in one of his videos, but I'm going to be I've had the mindset pretty much ever since I started RC, where I don't really care about my rates. I've always played like that, to be fair. Like, I never have my XP trackers open, ever. The only time I ever open them up is when I'm trying to see what kind of rates I get for an hour, or maybe a 6 hour, something like that. I'm just like trying to go balls to the wall and trying to go as hard as I can. That's the only time I ever do open my rates up. But besides that, I pretty much just take it really easy. I just relax and just do the skill pretty much. I don't focus on my rates at all. And I think that's going to be the winning strategy towards being able to do stuff long term, is never stressing over your rates. If you're AFKing a shitload and your rates suck, then that's that. It's not a big deal. And that was also something I also adapted a little bit during woodcutting, because I actually, if you're unaware, I did woodcutting for probably about a week, maybe a little bit less. That was just another one of those skills where I just wanted to try it out. That was my original intentions with lavas as well, is I just wanted to try the skill out. And with woodcutting, I definitely learned that woodcutting is definitely a skill I'm capable of doing. Like, there's a lot of skills in this game where I'm very questionable of how I'll be able to do the skills, if I'll be able to do the skills to 200 mil, stuff like that. And I definitely learned from woodcutting that 2-tick teaks is definitely a viable option for me. So that's something I'm glad to find out, and that's something I've also learned about myself with lavas, is that even if I fail at doing the skill for as long as I can straight, whenever I do decide to stop, I'll come back to it at some point, and I know I'm going to enjoy it. So that's a really good it's a really good feeling to have, knowing that like you're pretty confident in doing at least certain skills. I haven't tried out really all the skills in the game yet, for sure. One of the big ones I probably won't be able to do, at least the most efficient way, would be mining. getting 99, I did 3-tick 2S2G at the time. Never even, well, I tried to do 4G at the time, but I actually could not. I was not capable of doing it. I'm sure I could do 4G nowadays, but would I want to do that? Would I be able to do it for long hours, etc.? I just don't think it's going to be something I'm going to be able to do long term. So, like, my game plan with mining right now is to do the new mining Todd method that is coming out. That's supposed to be like 80k an hour, depending on how AFK that is and stuff. I'll probably end up doing that, but you know, we'll see. Another skill I tried out a tiny bit was fishing, and by a tiny bit I mean like maybe no more than 5 hours, you know. But I feel like you can get a decent feel for the skill in just a little bit of time. It does obviously take a much longer time to get good at it and to master it even. But I feel like you can get a decent feel for the skill just by doing a tiny bit of it. And fishing is a skill I'm a bit concerned about after trying it, because I did some, 3-tick fishing, and it just wasn't something. It wasn't hard. It was a very easy thing to do, but it was just very boring. Like, extremely boring. Like, I could not picture myself sitting down and playing for a whole day and just doing that. Like, So, yeah, we'll see with that. But there's plenty of ways to counteract that. Like, we have the new Kwambwan fishing method that's coming out. And if that method is AFK as it is described as, I'll be able to do that on my phone, in the future. If, and I can do that, like, instead of redwoods, for example, because at the moment I do a decent bit of redwoods on my phone whenever I get a chance. I'm at 30.4 mil woodcut. Most of that's redwoods, some 2-tick teaks. But yeah, so I can do that instead of redwoods on my phone whenever I get a chance to do that. And then also, if that method doesn't get like nerfed in any way, like supposedly like 3-tick and 2-tick will both be better than barb in terms of fishing XP. And I think just in general efficiency, it's better if it doesn't get nerfed, which I don't really mind. If it gets nerfed, it is what it is. I would love to be able to like 2-tick Kwambwans. That would be a pretty cool thing, and I just made fire runes. But yeah, so wouldn't mind that at all. Wouldn't mind that at all. Second, let me just think here. Okay, so yep, that's the mentality I've kind of adapted to, is trying to stick to a skill, and it's going to be an interesting journey, I think, for sure. As for Altscape, I was originally playing a Brutal Black Dragon alt while doing lavas here, but I've kind of chilled back a bit for multiple reasons in terms of Altscape, and I'm now doing just full Guthan's Gargoyles right now, which is about as AFK as you can get. GP an hour, I've never checked or tracked it at all, but from what I've heard, it's roughly 500k an hour, which is not much, but to be honest, it's definitely better than nothing. It's definitely worth the effort I put into it, because it's very little effort, and it'll add up over time. It'll cover the cost of RC, at least. That's how I look at it, and I'll make a little bit of profit from RC after all, which will be cool. But yeah, I'm not really too stressed over alts. I've made enough money, I think. Well, I've lost a lot of money to the point where I probably don't have enough money to do all the Bibles yet, but I'm not worried about it. I have plenty of time to make any money I might need. And then I don't know how much I'll make from Hunter in comparison to how much I might need, so we'll see. But what else do I want to talk about? Oh yes, back into the conversation of sticking to a skill. One method that I personally find to be one of the best methods to sticking to a skill. Not that I could really talk about that because I've never stuck to a skill before, but for me, I feel like this is going to be a very, 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 I keep making fire runes, man. A very good way of, sticking to a skill for long periods of time. And I recently picked up playing Hearthstone again, which is a card game by Blizzard, which I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, played it, or heard of it, but it's a very fun game, and it's something I used to play back when I was doing, like, I think it was Herblore. Oh my god, the fire runes, man. But yeah, back when I was doing Herblore, I got into doing Hearthstone. And Hearthstone was just such a fun game. I loved playing it. I don't really know why I ever stopped. I think it was just got sick of it. I think that was the main reason. I just kind of got bored of it and just stopped. But I've gotten back into it recently, and I'm having a blast playing. And Hearthstone is, from what I've seen, probably the perfect game to do on the side of RS, because it's a card game, and you pretty much you have X amount of seconds to make a play, right? And while you're making a play, like the most of the time towards making the play is determined based off of just you thinking of what kind of play you want to make. So basically, you can glance over at your screen, look at the board, see what cards you have, and just think of what kind of play you're going to make. And then when you make the play, you pretty much just drag cards from your hand into the field. And it's very quick to do that and very easy. And you can do it while playing RS with most skills without losing any ticks at all. So it's like the perfect game to play on the side. And I think that alone will really help with me playing this game long term, because I think if you have something else you can really focus on the side with skills, it's going to help you a lot with sticking to them. That was also kind of the case with the bank standing skills when I was doing those, is that I had the Karamja shop, which was I would say honestly that was my main focus at the time, was just shopping, and I was just doing herb lore on the side pretty much. And I think that, helped a lot towards motivation, because what I would do, my mentality at the time was like, I'm going to log in, I want to log in and play as many hours as I can so I can make the most amount of money that I can. Like, I really wasn't too worried about XP. I was just focused on money, and then I knew that XP would come alongside with that money. But yeah, that's I think that's a great way to stick to stuff. And Lava Larry has just logged in, boys. But yeah, so Lavas have been going great. Plan to just stick to them as long as I can. Plans for after I burn out of it or finish it, I really don't know yet. Time will tell. My plan at before summer started, my plan was to do all the Bibles by the end of summer pretty much, or most of the Bibles at least, and that has obviously completely changed, and I expected it to. Like, plans, at least when I make plans, they never stay the same. Like, I always change up what I want to do. And I think another important thing with that is to never make bold claims or make big goals that are unrealistic. Like, for example, I'm not sitting here saying I'm going to do 200 mil RC straight or just do 200 mil RC at all. That's not my goal. It's just to stick to the skill as long as I can, and that challenge alone, may bring me to 200 mil RC. You never know. It's one of those things where it's like, you don't set your goals too high to the point where they're unrealistic, because then you start forcing yourself to do it, and then when you're forcing yourself, you're not having fun, and then before you know it, you burned out of the game in general. So I'm not too worried about if I burn out or not. It's just, it'll happen. As long as you don't burn out of gaining EHP, it doesn't matter. That's always been my mentality with this game, is as long as you're training EHP, it doesn't matter what skill that you are doing in particular. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this video. Feel free to leave a comment below about what you think about this, and if you guys have ever tried doing a skill straight. Because yeah, I personally have never tried to do a skill straight, or just for a long period of time. The longest I actually ever did a skill was agility, which I probably did for like 6 weeks straight, and that was just solely because it was so damn easy. Like, yeah, I don't really even count that towards like sticking to a skill, because I didn't even try. Like, but yeah, leave a comment down below about what you think of this video. If you guys want me to make more, what kind of topics I should talk about, stuff like that. But anyways, thanks for watching this little 15-minute ramble. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. See ya.